Hello everyone, today we are going to learn a very important program for statistics, that is SPSS. If this is your first time you're watching this, then this is going to help you. If you look at my screen, I've already opened the interface of SPSS. So if you have interacted with Excel, then you are going to find this interface very friendly. Now, in SPSS, we have two view, and when you check down here, we have variable view and we have data view. Now, we are going to begin with the variable view because that's where exactly we are going to create our variables. With the variable view because that's where exactly we are going to create our variables, and we are going to adjust them according to how we want. Now, let me begin with the variable view and create a variable here. For example, I'm going to create a variable and I will call this ID. Now we have this type here. Whether you IDs you want it to maybe a variable type, it could be a date, dollar, currency, or comma. If you're dealing with the text, you can pick string. But for example, but in this case, I'm dealing with the identification number, so I'm going to leave it as numeric. Now I'm going to give it OK. Now we have with it, I'll talk about it there, how you can adjust the with it. And also we have a decimal column here where you can increase the decimal places, or you can reduce using this drop down and this icon to increase the decimal, but I'm going to leave it at 2 decimal places. I have label here. The purpose of label here is just to describe more about the variable. Like for example, I can say this is a random identification number, so I can just describe more about this variable here. And values, I'm going to leave it. I'll talk about it later. Missing, also talk about it. And also column. Now align, you can align it as a center if you want the record to be aligned at the center. We want it to align on the left side. You can pick alignment from here. So for this case, I'm going to leave it the default left, and we have measure as well. So we have three kinds of measure. We have scale, ordinal, and nominal. So you can, if you want to pick on scale, whether the variable can be scale or can be reduced, increased, so you have to pick scale. But in this case, we have ID. We have to pick nominal. Nominal has no that sequential arrangement, so we have to pick in nominal. If it is has to be arranged systematically, then you have to go for this option ordinal. So for this case, we are working with the nominal, and that is it. We are going to talk about this one later on the roll. I would like to fill other variable, and I'm going to call this gender, and data type here is numeric. It's supposed to be a string because it is a text, but why am I leaving it as a numeric? I'm going to explain this in a minute. Because on the label, not label, I can say this one. I can say this is gender. So just to describe it, and on the value, right? On the value, why I left it as type numeric, because we are going to assign some value here which are going to be in form of, for example, 1, and then they say this is a male. Then you can add, and you can say value 2, and then you assign it to be female, like that. So all these have been added like that. Click OK, and then no value, no missing value here. And this one is going to be a nominal because you can either start with a male or female. That's why we're picking it as a nominal. Now we go to the next variable here. In this variable, I can say height. All right. Now height, I'll leave it as numeric, and maybe this could be height. I can describe it and say height. Is it the correct spelling? Height, or height maybe in centimeter or inches. So, and then on the value, I'm going to leave it like that. values, okay, that. So I'm moving to, okay, measure. This time, height can be increased or decreased. So that's why we have to pick this ordinal scale. This is not scale because it is scalable. So I'll pick this one, right? And then we can have weight. Weight is also, okay, it's numeric. And I'm going to leave it like that. Maybe you can say weight in kg. All right. um okay, and you can say this one is also scalable. Pick scale measure. Now I'm going straight to view this, to view our variable. We have already adjusted, but there's some things I haven't explained here. I just want to open data view here, and if you can see, weight and height and gender already created. And okay, we can like, for example, on the gender, you can, if you say 1, we assigned 1, which value we can check. We can click here on this feature to check that one was assigned in, that was one value was assigned, male was assigned to one value, like that. Now we have height here. So generally on data view is where you enter your records. Now you have, if you enter records on data view, then you can be able now to start analyzing your data here, which I'm not going to talk about it now. I'll talk about it in the next video. So height, you can enter the value, but I would like to do something. I would like to show you something, how you can adjust this variable and how visible are you going to see this. Now look at it, like for example on this gender column here. Then when I go to on variable, then decide to increase the width. Maybe I'm going to make it to 19. Now let's check what it happens on the, no, okay, on the gender, right? Let me go on the gender, on the what's it on ID, on the gender. Now I'm going to leave it as 8, no problem. Okay, just decrease it to 8. We'll go to column here on the gender row, right? Let me increase this row to around 29. Then I just want us to check on that gender. So when you increase the column, you see how widened the column, the row has become. So this is exactly how you adjust. You can just here, you can decide to align this value. Like for example here, gender is aligned center. Let me check if it's aligned with the center. Let me align it on the left and reduce the columns. Let me reduce it to around 8. I want it to be just so 8, 6, 7, 8. Now let's check. Yes, okay. Now it's okay. Now the gender, I've aligned everything on the left. So if I pick male, okay, the data that we are going to enter here are going to be aligned on the left side because you already adjusted from here, right? So guys, this is the first part. This is the first introduction SPSS. If you're more interested in learning SPSS, don't forget to follow, subscribe, so that I'll be dropping more videos. We haven't looked at how to analyze, how to, okay, we're going to work on this data, we're going to analyze data, we're going to work on descriptive statistics, right? On how to get frequencies on data. You're going to look at this and how to, all right, to work on medium, mean, medium, mode, sum, and we have standard deviation here. We are going to check all that in the next video. So if you are following this video, don't forget to watch the next part.